Hi everyone, this is Todd from One-Shot API. I'm going to show you how you can run delegated batch transactions in n8n using the One-Shot API community node. This will let you run multiple on-chain actions in a single transaction. Let's start by logging into n8n, create a new workflow, and let's add a manual trigger. And then on that, let's search for One-Shot API. There's two ways you can go about doing a batch execution. One is non-blocking. So you see here, execute multiple smart contract methods as delegator. If you choose this option, the configuration is exactly the same, but this will not wait for the transaction to be confirmed before moving on. So you'll have to do something later on in your automation to get the transaction hash. For this, we will use the blocking node. So choose One-Shot API, submit and wait, and then again, execute multiple smart contract methods as delegator. And first we need to auth against our One-Shot API account. So come to oneshotapi.com, click the API keys tab, hit create a new API key, and then grab your key and secret. On the credential box, hit create a new credential and input your key and secret. And then your business ID is in the top right hand corner. And then we'll name this credential n8n batch demo. Hit save, and now you're done. Next, we need to set up some methods to call in our transaction. So back in One-Shot API, start by coming to the Wallets tab. Now I'm going to do this on the Unichain, just to do it on some new popular chain that supports delegations and 7702 upgrades. So click create a new wallet, give it a name and a description, and then under blockchain select Unichain and hit confirm. This will provision a Unichain wallet for you, and you only need a very small amount of ETH on this chain to do the relayed transactions. I have about $1 worth. That's all you'll need to do this tutorial. Now coming to One-Shot prompts, we need some methods to call. So if we filter on Unichain, you can see I have USDC for Unichain. If I click into this, let's import the approve function and the transfer from function. And now if we come to my smart contracts, you can see here we have our two methods that we could call. And now we can come back to n8n and configure those function calls. So the first one is approve. So we're going to do an approve call. Approve takes a spender and a value. So let's type in spender and value. For the value, we will transfer $1, so that's a 1 with 6 zeros. And then for the spender, I have two accounts that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be doing a single batch transaction delegated from two separate accounts. They can all be from the same account, but for this to show you the flexibility, I'm going to do two separate accounts. So the first one is this account, which has some USDC in it. So I'm going to copy that address, and I'm going to put that as the delegator address. So this first transaction, which is an approve, is going to run as if it was this 9FEA account. And I'm going to be giving the allowance to my other account, 627A. That is who I will give allowance to. And now the second transaction, we will do transfer from onchain 130. Transfer from takes a from to and a value. So we'll do from to and a value. The value is $1. The from account is this first address, and the to value is going to be that second address, and then this second transaction is running as the second account. So reviewing this here, I have two actions that will take place in one transaction. The first one is an approve from account A. The second transaction is a transfer from the account B. And then lastly here, this is going to run under the Unichain wallet. So I'm going to select that Unichain wallet that I provisioned. And at this point, I have not yet given delegations to OneShot API for either of these accounts. So if I execute this, I will get an error. And if we inspect the error, it will say no valid delegation found for that escrow wallet. That's expected. So if we come back to OneShot API and come to wallets and select our Unichain wallet, we don't have any delegations yet. So we need delegations from both accounts that we want sponsored by OneShot API. So if you open your MetaMask browser extension, I have both of these accounts here. Click on the account and then the hamburger menu under details, and there's a box, enable smart contract account. Make sure you toggle on Unichain for both accounts. If Unichain doesn't appear, it probably means that under your networks here, you need to make sure that Unichain is one of your supported networks in your RPC providers inside of MetaMask. So I've already upgraded both of these accounts to MetaMask smart accounts. So back in OneShot API, let's add the first delegation. I'm going to just give it a day's worth of timeout. And then the USDC Unichain address, I'm going to give a delegation to that specific contract. Hit create, confirm, and that's the first delegation. So I'm not done yet. Still, if I execute this, I don't have a delegation for the other account. So switching accounts, add one more delegation to the USDC Unichain address. Now I have delegations for both accounts for the Unichain USDC address. If we come back to n8n and hit execute, you can see here we have an error that batch transactions cannot be executed atomically with more than one required delegation. So this is important. I wanted to show this in case you run into it trying to use this in n8n. I'm doing a batch execution from two separate accounts. So we need to come to add field, select the atomic field, and we need to toggle that off. We can't enforce atomicity across accounts with the MetaMask smart account. If both accounts or if both transactions were the same account, we could actually enforce atomic transactions, but for this we can't. So with that toggled off, execute. And you can see this was a success. If we come back to OneShot API and go to transaction history, there is our batch execution. If we look at it on the Blockchain Explorer and come to logs, there is the first approval from account A to account B. Here is the transfer from account A to account B, executed as account B. And here is your two redeemed delegation events coming from the delegation manager in the MetaMask delegation framework. So with this, you can construct really robust automations on-chain using n8n. We have some interesting workflows coming for you soon to show this off in practice. Thanks for watching, everyone.